In the grand ballroom of the Sterling Tower, under crystal chandeliers that sparkled like captured stars, a little girl in a faded dress stood hand in hand with a man in a tailored suit worth more than her family's home. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but they were tears of joy. The billionaire, Alexander Voss, knelt before her, whispering promises that would change everything. "From today, your family," he said, his voice breaking. But how did they get here? What twist of fate turned desperation into destiny? Stick around to the end, you won't believe the heartwarming turnaround. And if this story touches you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that restore your faith in humanity. It all started on a rainy Tuesday in the bustling city of Eldridge. Maria Gonzalez, a single mother in her late 30s, had worked as a maid for the Voss family for over a decade. She scrubbed floors, dusted antiques, and kept the massive penthouse spotless, all while raising her 8-year-old daughter, Sofia. Maria's life was a quiet grind, paycheck to paycheck, dreams deferred for survival. Sofia, with her wide brown eyes and unruly curls, was Maria's world. The girl was bright, always sketching stories in her notebook, dreaming of a day when her mom wouldn't have to work so hard. But fate has a cruel way of testing the resilient. One morning, Maria woke up with a fever that wouldn't break. By afternoon, she could barely stand. The doctor at the free clinic diagnosed pneumonia, complicated by years of exhaustion. "You need rest, antibiotics, and no work for weeks," he said. Maria's heart sank. No work meant no pay, and the rent was due. Worse, she had a final cleaning shift at Mr. Voss's office that evening, the billionaire CEO of Voss Enterprises, a tech empire that dominated the skyline. Alexander Voss was known as a ruthless tycoon, mergers that crushed competitors, decisions that prioritized profit over people. Maria had only seen him from afar, a shadow in boardrooms, never exchanging more than a nod. "I can't lose this job," Maria whispered to Sofia from her bed, her voice weak. The apartment was cramped, walls thin enough to hear neighbors' arguments. Sofia, clutching her mom's hand, felt a surge of determination. "I'll go, Mama. I'll tell him you're sick and ask if we can postpone." Maria protested, but Sofia was insistent. "I'm brave, like in my stories. Please." With no other choice, Maria relented, scribbling a note on scrap paper. "Dear Mr. Voss, I'm ill and can't come today. Please understand. Maria Gonzalez." Sofia slipped the note into her pocket, pulled on her worn raincoat, and ventured out into the storm. The city lights blurred through the downpour as she took the bus downtown, her small frame swallowed by the seat. Fear gnawed at her. What if he yelled? What if he fired Mama? But love for her mother pushed her forward. Arriving at the towering Voss Enterprises, Sofia stared up at the glass facade, feeling like an ant before a mountain. The security guard at the lobby eyed her suspiciously. "Kid, this ain't a playground." Sofia stood tall. "I'm here for Mr. Voss. My mom's his maid, and she's sick. I have a note." The guard chuckled, but something in Sofia's earnest eyes softened him. He called upstairs, and to his surprise, the receptionist patched through. Minutes later, Sofia was escorted to the top floor, where executive suites gleamed with marble and modern art. Alexander Voss's office was a fortress, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, a desk like a command center. Alexander, in his 40s, with sharp features and graying temples, was buried in reports. His life was a cycle of deals and isolation, divorced years ago, no children, his empire his only legacy. He glanced up as Sofia entered, her shoes squeaking on the polished floor. "Who are you?" he demanded, his tone clipped. Sofia swallowed hard, her voice trembling. "I'm Sofia. My mom's Maria, your maid. She fell ill, pneumonia. She can't come tonight. Here's her note." She held it out, hands shaking. Alexander took it, scanning the words. His face hardened. "Sick? That's inconvenient. I have an important gala tomorrow, the place needs to be spotless. Sofia's eyes welled up. Please, sir. We need the job. Mama works so hard. She's all I have. If you fire her. Her voice cracked, and she began to sob quietly. Something shifted in Alexander. He wasn't used to vulnerability in his world of boardroom battles. Flashbacks hit him, his own mother, a single parent who'd cleaned offices to put him through school, dying young from overwork. He'd buried that pain under success, but Sofia's tears cracked the armor. Hey, kid, don't cry, he said awkwardly, kneeling to her level. What's your name again? Sofia, she sniffled. Like the princess in my stories. He smiled faintly. Stories? Tell me one. Hesitant at first, Sofia shared a tale she'd invented, a lonely king in a tower who finds a lost bird and learns to care again. Alexander listened, rapt. It mirrored his life too closely, the isolation, the emptiness. By the end, his eyes were misty. That's beautiful. Your mom must be proud. He paused, then made a call. Cancel my meetings. And get the company doctor here. What followed was a whirlwind. The doctor examined Maria at home that night, courtesy of Alexander's insistence. He covered the medical bills, arranged paid leave, and even sent groceries. But it didn't stop there. Alexander visited the next day, seeing their tiny apartment for the first time. This isn't right, he muttered. Moved by Sofia's spirit, he offered Maria a promotion, head of household staff, with benefits and a raise. You've been invisible to me too long, he admitted. That changes now. Challenges arose, of course. Maria's recovery was slow, riddled with setbacks, a relapse that tested their resolve. Alexander faced backlash from his board, charity cases? That's not business. Whispers called it a PR stunt. Sofia struggled at school, bullied for her poor clothes until Alexander anonymously donated uniforms. But through it, bonds formed. Alexander mentored Sofia, funding art classes where her stories bloomed. Maria taught him humility, sharing family dinners that filled his empty penthouse with laughter. One evening, as Maria healed, Alexander confessed his past. I lost my mom like this, working herself to death. I built this empire to escape that pain, but it made me cold. Sofia hugged him. You're not cold anymore. The resolution came at the gala. Alexander invited them as guests. In that ballroom, he announced a foundation for single parents, inspired by Maria and Sofia. True wealth isn't in banks, he said. It's in the hearts we touch. And so, lives intertwined. Maria thrived in her new role, Sofia pursued her dreams, and Alexander found family. In a world of hardship, kindness bridged the gap. Remember, small acts can spark big changes. If this story warmed your heart, like and subscribe, let's spread more hope together.